My fiancé said, "He makes me feel alive." I replied, "Then go die together." Then I sold the house, canceled the honeymoon, ghosted everyone, and I smiled when alive gave her an STD. Hey, Reddit. He makes me feel alive in ways you never could. Those were the exact words that came out of my fiancé's mouth while standing in our kitchen. The kitchen we'd picked out countertops for together, where we'd argued about cabinet colors, where I'd proposed to her on a random Tuesday, because I couldn't wait for some manufactured romantic moment. I stood there holding a bag of groceries. Organic vegetables she'd specifically requested. The salmon she loved. The expensive olive oil she insisted made everything taste better. Then go die together, I said, setting the bag on the counter with more control than I thought I possessed. Because this, I gestured between us, is already dead. Her face went pale. Wait, I didn't mean. Get out. It's my house too. Check the deed. It's mine. You have 1 hour. I'm 38 years old. Was engaged to be married in 3 months. Had a wedding venue booked, deposits down, a honeymoon planned to Greece. Had a life that looked perfect from the outside. Keyword, had. The thing about betrayal is that it doesn't knock politely. It kicks down the door wearing your fiancé's face and holding hands with some guy named Trevor who works at her office and apparently knows how to make her feel alive. I found out the old-fashioned way. Her phone lit up on the bathroom counter while I was brushing my teeth. A message from Trev, with enough emojis to make a teenager blush and a photo I didn't need therapy to forget, but definitely would need therapy to process. When I confronted her that night, she didn't deny it. She cried, said it meant nothing, said it was just physical, said Trevor understood her in ways I couldn't. That last part made me laugh. Actually laugh. Understanding you? Is that what we're calling it now? You don't get it, she said, mascara running down her face in black rivers. You're always so controlled, so measured. Trevor is spontaneous. He's passionate. He makes me feel alive. Yeah, you mentioned that. Here's what nobody tells you about moments like this. There's a split second where you can feel yourself becoming someone different, someone harder, someone who stops giving a damn about playing nice or being the bigger person. I felt that shift happen in real time. How long? I asked. 2 months. 2 months. We'd been engaged for 8. Together for 4 years before that. Does he know you're engaged? She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. He knows. We both know what this is. Which is, I don't know. I'm confused. I love you, but Trevor makes you feel alive. Got it. Crystal clear. I grabbed my keys and left. Drove to a hotel. Sat in the parking lot for an hour just staring at the steering wheel. The old me would have gone back. Would have talked it through. Would have suggested couples therapy and worked on us and asked what I could do better. The new me? The one born in that kitchen? He had different plans. I called my lawyer at 8 the next morning. Keith had handled my business contracts for years. Good guy. Played golf badly but gave excellent advice. I need to know my options, I told him. Legally or emotionally? Both. Emotionally? Bourbon. Legally? Let me look at your documents. Turned out the house was entirely in my name. I bought it 2 years before we met. She'd moved in after year 2 of our relationship, but never got added to the deed. We'd talked about it, but never followed through. Thank God for procrastination. The wedding venue was trickier. We'd split the deposit, but the contract had my name as the primary. I could cancel and lose the deposit or what? I asked. Or you wait until closer to the date, claim irreconcilable differences, and the insurance clause kicks in. You get most of it back. How much closer? 30 days out. I had 12 weeks. I could wait. When I got back to the house that afternoon, my house, she was still there, sitting on the couch surrounded by tissues, looking miserable. We need to talk, she said. No, we really don't. Please. I made a mistake. I'll end it with Trevor. We can fix this. I walked past her into the kitchen, opened the fridge, grabbed a beer. Here's what's going to happen, I said. You're going to move out. This weekend. I don't care where you go, Trevor's place, your sister's, a hotel. Not my problem. You'll take your personal belongings. Anything we bought together stays here because I paid for 90% of it anyway. You're being cruel. I'm being fair. Cruel would be what you did. I'm just cleaning house. What about the wedding? What about it? We can postpone. Give ourselves time. There is no wedding. There is no ourselves. There's you, there's me, and there's a whole lot of legal paperwork to untangle. She started crying again. The thing about crying is that it used to work on me. Used to make me want to fix things, make peace, be the comforter. Not anymore. I'll call my sister, she said quietly. Good idea. She left that Saturday, took 3 carloads of stuff, and kept trying to have one last conversation. I stayed in my office with the door locked until I heard her car pull away for the final time. Then I sat in the silence of my house, my fully mine house, and felt absolutely nothing. That should have worried me. It didn't. Monday morning, I started making calls. The wedding venue first. Explained the situation in vague terms. They were sympathetic but firm about the deposit. I told them I'd follow up in a few weeks. The honeymoon was easier. Travel insurance covered breakups if you had documentation. A quick email to my lawyer, a forwarded copy of text messages, the ones I'd screenshotted before she could delete anything, and I had my documentation. Full refund minus a processing fee. $12,000 back in my account. I took that $12,000 and booked a solo trip to Japan instead. 3 weeks. Fancy hotels. No itinerary. Just me and whatever I felt like doing. Then I started on the smaller stuff. Canceled the photographer. Canceled the DJ. Canceled the florist. Some were understanding. Some threatened to keep deposits. I let them. The money didn't matter as much as the principle. Every cancellation felt like removing a weight I hadn't realized I'd been carrying. My friends started reaching out. Word travels fast. Dude, what happened? My buddy Chris texted. Wedding's off. Why? Does it matter? I mean, yeah. She cheated. With a guy named Trevor. He makes her feel alive. That's the quote. Holy shit. Yeah. You okay? Honestly, I have no idea. But I wasn't okay. I was something better than okay. I was free. People don't talk about how good rage can feel when it's channeled properly. Not the explosive kind. The cold, calculated kind. The kind that wakes up every morning with purpose. I went to the gym. Lost 15 pounds. Got a new haircut. Bought clothes that actually fit instead of the dad jeans and polo combo I'd been defaulting to for years. Trevor, as it turned out, was exactly what you'd expect. Mid-30s, worked in marketing, drove a BMW he clearly couldn't afford based on the lease paperwork I definitely didn't have my IT guy dig up using completely legal methods. He had an ex-wife. 2 kids he saw every other weekend. A social media presence that screamed midlife crisis disguised as self-discovery. And an apparent allergy to monogamy based on the 3 other women I found him tagged with in photos over the past 6 months. But that wasn't my business. Not anymore. Except my ex, let's call her V, because typing out my ex-fiancée got old, started texting me about 6 weeks after she moved out. I miss you. Delete. Trevor and I broke up. Delete. Can we please talk? Delete. I made a mistake. The biggest mistake of my life. Delete. He cheated on me. That one I read twice. Then deleted it. She called. I didn't answer. She showed up at my house. I didn't answer the door. She sent an email. A long one. Full of apologies and realizations, and I see now what I had. And you were the one all along. I forwarded it to my lawyer with a note. Documentation for the restraining order if needed. Keith called me an hour later. You don't actually want a restraining order. Why not? Because she's not threatening you. She's just sad. And that's my problem, Hal. It's not. But save the nuclear option for if she escalates. Fine. How are you doing? Really? Really? I'm great. Lost weight. Trip to Japan booked. House is mine. Life is simple. That's not what I asked. I paused. I don't know what you want me to say, Keith. That I'm devastated? That I cry into my pillow at night? I don't. I'm angry, sure. But mostly I'm just done. That's fair. Just checking. Week 10 rolled around. The wedding was now 22 days away. I called the venue. I need to cancel, I told the coordinator. Oh no. Is everything okay? Personal reasons. But I understand there's an insurance clause? Yes, if you have documented. I have documentation. I'll email it over today. Of course. I'm so sorry this didn't work out. Me too. Thanks for your help. I hung up and felt nothing. No sadness. No regret. Just the satisfaction of checking another box. The deposit came back 3 days later. $8,000. I donated it to a men's mental health charity. Figured someone should benefit. Friends stopped asking if I was okay and started inviting me out. Bar nights. Hiking trips. A weekend in Vegas that I actually enjoyed despite hating Vegas on principle. You seem different, Chris said during a poker game at his place. Different how? I don't know. Lighter? No, that's not it. Sharper maybe. Sharper works. You over her? I was never under her. That was the problem. He laughed. That's dark, man. Is it? Or is it just honest? The thing about honesty is that people aren't used to it. They want you to soften the edges, make it palatable, wrap it in qualifiers. I was done with that. Month 3 post-breakup, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. This is Trevor. We should talk. I stared at it for a solid minute. Then replied, No, I think I owe you an apology. You don't owe me anything. You're a stranger who slept with my fiancée. That's it. She told me you two were basically over. And you believed her? Here's the thing, Trevor. I don't care. She made her choice. You made yours. I made mine. We're all living with the consequences. But you and I? We have nothing to discuss. Fair enough. I blocked the number. 2 weeks later, V texted from yet another new number. I have something I need to tell you. It's important. Against my better judgment. What? Trevor gave me chlamydia. I read it 3 times. Then I laughed. Actually laughed out loud in the middle of a coffee shop. People stared. I didn't care. Good luck with that, I replied. That's all you have to say? What else is there? Hope you feel better soon. You're an asshole. And you're someone else's problem now. Congratulations on feeling alive. Block. Delete. Done. That night, I opened a bottle of expensive scotch I'd been saving for the wedding toast. Poured myself 2 fingers. Raised the glass to my empty living room. To Trevor, I said out loud. The gift that keeps on giving. I drank it slowly, savoring every sip. The Japan trip was incredible. I spent 3 weeks eating food I couldn't pronounce, visiting temples that made me feel small in the best way, and not thinking about V or Trevor or weddings or any of it. I met a woman in Kyoto, Australian, traveling solo. We had coffee, walked through a bamboo forest, talked about nothing important. Why Japan? She asked. Needed a reset. Bad breakup. Something like that. Want to talk about it? Not even a little. She smiled. Fair enough. We spent 2 days together. Nothing romantic. Just easy companionship with someone who didn't know my history or care about my baggage. On the last day, she said, You're going to be fine, you know. How do you figure? Because you're already fine. You just haven't noticed yet. She was right. I came back home to a life that was entirely mine. No compromises. No shared calendars. No checking in or coordinating or explaining. Just me and whatever I wanted to do with my time. I sold the dining table V and I had picked out together. Bought a new one. Sold the couch. Bought a new one. Slowly replaced everything that carried memories until my house felt like mine instead of ours. People asked if I was dating. Not really. Why not? Because I like my life the way it is. That confused them. Like happiness was something that required another person to validate it. 6 months after the breakup, I ran into V at a grocery store. She looked rough, thinner, tired. Her hair was different, shorter, less styled. Hey, she said quietly. Hey. Awkward silence. You look good, she said. Thanks. Are you seeing anyone? Not your business. Right? Of course. She paused. I really am sorry. For everything. Okay, that's it. Just okay. What do you want me to say, V? That I forgive you? That we can be friends? That I understand? I don't. I won't. And we can't. I just thought. You thought wrong. Take care of yourself. I walked away before she could respond. Stood in the cereal aisle for a solid 5 minutes feeling absolutely nothing. No anger. No sadness. No lingering what-ifs. Just relief that I'd never have to have that conversation again. That night, I updated my dating profile. Not because I was desperate or lonely or trying to replace anyone, but because I was finally ready to meet someone who deserved the version of me that existed now. The one who knew his worth. The one who wouldn't tolerate disrespect. The one who could walk away when something wasn't right. The one who learned that sometimes the best revenge isn't elaborate schemes or public humiliation. It's living well, living honestly, living completely on your own terms. I got a few matches, went on a few dates. Nothing serious yet, but that was fine. Because for the first time in years, I wasn't building my life around someone else's needs or wants or definitions of what made them feel alive. I was building it around mine. And that felt better than any relationship ever had. Trevor sent me one final message about 8 months post-breakup. From a different number. Must have gotten mine from V. For what it's worth, you dodged a bullet. She's crazy. I typed out a response. I know. That's why I dodged it. Then deleted it and blocked him instead. Some people don't deserve responses. A year later, I'm sitting in my house, my fully remodeled, completely mine house, with plans to meet friends for dinner tonight and a second date with someone interesting this weekend. V got engaged to some guy she met at a yoga retreat. I know because mutual friends told me, waiting for a reaction. I had none to give. Good for her, I said, and meant it. Because her happiness or misery had nothing to do with me anymore. I still think about that moment in the kitchen sometimes, when she said Trevor made her feel alive. And I think about my response. Then go die together. It was harsh, probably too harsh. But it was also the moment I stopped being someone who accepted less than I deserved. The moment I chose myself. And honestly, that decision saved my life in ways staying never could have. So to anyone reading this, facing their own kitchen moment, their own Trevor, their own person who makes them feel like they're not enough. Walk away. Sell the house if you need to. Cancel the wedding. Ghost everyone who doesn't support your decision to choose peace over chaos. And when that person who hurt you comes crawling back with apologies and regrets and STDs they got from being alive, smile, block the number, and live your life so well they become nothing more than a cautionary tale you tell at dinner parties. Because the best revenge isn't making them suffer. It's making them irrelevant. And trust me, nothing makes you more irrelevant than being completely forgotten by someone who used to plan their entire future around you. I sleep well at night. Can Trevor and V say the same? Not my problem. Not anymore.